And good evening, everyone. Welcome to Ace Attorney Streams. Lots of fun, lots of fun. Right, let's do some proper hellos in the chat for you guys. So, who have we got with us this evening? We have got... Why is that not scrolling up? Okay, well, we have Nico. Oh, yeah. We've got Nico, good evening. We've got Enigmatic, I can see in the chat. And Mr. Gently Benevolent, early and therefore far from dodgily inclined. Yes. This stream nearly didn't happen tonight. Very nearly didn't happen tonight. But fortunately, work didn't need me tonight. So, yeah, I got confirmation just after 8 o'clock this evening. So, fantastic news. We are here tonight, which means we can probably do an extra one on Friday as well, which is even better. So, yeah, I'm going to be here tonight over on Proper Horror Show's channel tomorrow to cover a John Carpenter film. It's Prince of Darkness, I think. And then, yeah, we'll crack on with some more Ace Attorney on Friday night, I think. I'm going to be very busy over the weekend, so we probably won't be able to do any more until next week. But at least we're getting semi-regular again, you know, which is nice. So, what happened last time? I'm trying to wrap my head around it. So, last time, we did a bit of investigations. Did a bit of investigation work. I think we left. Gosh, where do we leave it? I think we left it with Adrian. We talking to her and Rhonda Light, where we learned a little bit more about his blackmail and his involvement in the robberies. And yeah, we had to unlock some Cyclops from Adrian, didn't we? Because she was a bit apprehensive over the urn, which has changed from I am back to Amy. Great, we can continue the trial of JXE. Yes, indeed, we can do. Right, let me just close this down here. We'll crack on. You guys have been waiting patiently enough. Have you and Proper Horror Show done Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey? No, we should. We absolutely should. I have seen it. And, oh, hang on a minute. The sequel's come out, is it? Right, I've seen the original. I sat down with my wife and watched it. We actually bought it, right? And it has... Do you know what? It is bad, right? But I think it's got rewatch value. I really do. There's this one bit, right? Now, for those who haven't seen the films, okay, it's got a bunch of like, no, I wouldn't say scantily clad dressed women because they're not really, but they're young women. They go out on an all girls retreat to this house, right? Now, you think about what slim, attractive women look like, right? And then people must have seen the promotional material for Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. There's this one bit where, now it's not even that dark, okay? I should point out it's not even that dark, but Winnie the Pooh walks through the hallway, okay? And there's two women on a balcony, and they've got direct eye line, they've got direct line of sight on him, right? Basically, if you look to the top right of your screen now, you can see me, right? This is kind of how they could see him, right? One of them turns round and says, "Zoe, is that you?" And, oh no, sorry, they can say, "Is that Zoe?" And to the other, to this girl. And then the other girl turns around and says, "I don't know. I think it was." It's like, now if I was Zoe, right, and I was mistaken for Winnie the Pooh, I'd be a bit pissed, you know? I'm just saying, because that was so bad. Like, fuck it, honestly, it's so bad. It's such a bad film, but honestly, I'd watch it again. I'd gladly watch it again. And I have, Nico, just full disclosure, I have spoken to Horror Show, and I have said to her, like, we should cover the Pooniverse, because that's what they've called it, the Pooniverse. We should cover it, absolutely. Don't worry. I can certainly imagine Ron is someone who would be into... Jesus Christ, Gently Benevolent. Emergut, good evening, how you doing? Sorry, I got railroaded with Winnie the Pooh lore there. But you said these sequels come out, though. Is that right? All right. October 14, 9:41 a.m, District Court, Defendant Lobby number 4. I'm also testing out the Q&A thing. I put on there, what horror games would you like to see me play? Because I would like to do another one. Blood and Honey. Oh, it did achieve a Razzie. See, no, I would be proud of that. To be fair to TCG, when I was at school, there was always the one fat friend in a group of girls, so it sort of makes sense. Yeah, but she won. This is the thing, though. Excuse me. Excuse me. If you haven't seen the film, watch it, because then you'll see what Zoe looks like, and you'll understand why, if Zoe overheard that comment, she would be pissed. Hey, Nick. What is it this time? You won't believe how many people are here for the trial. Oh, oh, okay, so it's a limited release. Right, okay. I'd probably wait for it to come out on Prime. Not Prime, but would like to be available, because like I say, I bought it on Prime. So I can watch it. I can watch the first one as much as I like. Well, it is a murder case. What are you talking about? They're here for the trial next door. Luke at me, innit? Next door? Why don't you know this, Nick? Why don't you know this, Nick? Is Zoe Wood then? I think they all are. I think they all are, from memory serves. The practical effects were mind-blowing. The creatures took... Wait. I thought that... Yeah, see, no, that's another thing as well, right? Because in the films, they take a vow of silence, didn't they? And then Pooh talks right at the end. And it's literally Pooh's voice. Oh, bother. You didn't come back. Or like, you abandoned us. Mate. I was getting tickets for June last night. I did see it. It was playing at my local cinema. So I'm like, you seriously, please do. If it's the second one that's being advertised at the moment cinema, go and watch the first one first. Honestly, it's terrible, but it's kind of like, I don't want to say it's The Room terrible, because I don't think anything could be as terrible as that and yet be as much of a cinematic masterpiece. But I think in terms of the horror franchise, in terms of it being a horror film, I do think it is quite possibly as close as you can get to it. Yeah, don't spoil anything. I will be more than down for watching that. And like I say, I'm trying to twist Horror Show's arm to at least covering it. Yeah, when I heard they were doing what was it they were doing? Because I think they're doing Pinocchio as well, aren't they? They're doing Pinocchio. They're doing a Tigger film. I think they're doing Donkey. No, not Donkey. Eeyore as well. But yeah, they're really branching out, and I'm quite interested to see where this project goes. They're having Detective Acme's trial today. My boyfriend described it as terrible, but required. Yeah, your boyfriend's smart, Nico. Absolutely. Blood and Honey. Yeah, that'll be the second one. But watch the first one before you go and see that, GB, if you are. Bambi, that's it. I remember seeing Bambi in the cinemas. Okay, not on the original release, of course. They did a viewing at my local cinema at the time. My nan used to work there, so I used to get the ticket. I used to get free entry and like free popcorn. And she used to take me into like the projector room as well and show me the projectors. It was so cool, man, so cool. But that was a different time. Detective Acme. They say they're going to try him as Mask the Mask. Already? That was fast. Boy, I'd love to see Mask the Mask's trial. I know. Who's that? By the way, where's Pearls? Oh, she went back home. She said she can't neglect her training anymore. This might be... I know you don't like me. Pearls has really gotten into her training lately, huh? Yeah, ever since that incident last year. Please, don't ignore me! Oh, by the way, I saw Sargon put up a post on Twitter earlier this afternoon saying that he's looking for a voice actor. Share this stream with him if he wants a live action voice acting sesh. Oh, Mr. Delight, good morning. No one likes me. No one would notice me, even if I killed someone. Come on, don't be silly. Wait a sec. You don't mean you're the murderer? No, I'm just a poor thief. No, wait, that's not right. A thief can't really be poor. Her EW, Blood and Honey won an impressive, if that's the word, 5 Razzies. Worst picture, worst screen couple for Pooh and Piglet, worst rip-off or sequel, worst director, and worst screenplay. Yeah. There was some dodgy CGI blood in it as well, if I remember correctly. Let's see. According to Mr. Delight, from his second crime on, he was following a bunch of set plans. In fact, who would be up for a watch party of that? Who would actually be up for a watch party? Let me know. We'd do the first one. From his second crime on, he was following a bunch of set plans. Plans that someone had been sending to him to help him commit the heists. Do you really think there's a connection between the thief and the murder, Nick? It's possible. But today's trial is a race against the clock. Huh? How come? Let's just take our time, as always. I'm afraid that's not an option. Question mark? Yes, come on. Yeah, right, we'll do it. I think we'll do it. October 14, 10 a.m, District Court Courtroom number 6. Obviously, for obvious reasons. Yeah, Blood and Honey, the first one. Yeah. For obvious reasons, we wouldn't be able to do it on YouTube, but I would probably, yeah, I think it'd have to be a Discord job, I think. Yeah, it'd have to be a Discord job. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Ron Delight. Also, horror games. Have you played Alien Isolation, TCG? That would be a good one for you to do. We're guaranteed to see you screaming like a small girl. I think I have that. Let me just double check. Do I have Alien Isolation? Actually, I might not have it, but that doesn't mean to say I wouldn't be able to get it. But I'll be honest, that's a game I have looked at. That would be one that I would consider playing. Alien Isolation. Come on. And the PlayStation app's being silly. Ooh. And it's only... Oh, I'll tell you what, I have... No. Oh, okay. Okay, I haven't got that one. But it is only $10.99 on the PlayStation Store at the moment. But I do have Aliens Fireteam Elite, but I think that's a bit of a shooty bang bang. And more of... and less of an actual horror. Just have a look at some of the images. Yeah, no, that don't look right. Yeah, Alien Isolation. Okay, you can probably yeah. So it's about £10.19 at the moment on the PlayStation Store, down from whatever price it was saying. It looks like quite a hefty discount. Okay, that's one. Keep the suggestions coming. The defence is ready, Your Honour. You're ready. Preparation is the last refuge of the week. Okay, settle down, everyone. Let's begin with your opening statement, Mr. Godot. Ugh, he's got the judge in the palm of his hand, yet again. Ron Delight is simply too young to be sent to war. That's all. I'm afraid I have no idea what that means, Mr. Godot. Then you need to get out more, Your Honor. Life is war. But that is exactly why you must be more precise in your wording. That's all my statement means. You understand now, right? Yes. Well then, let me briefly summarize the details of this case. Wow. The judge is taking charge like he knows what's going on for a change. The victim is Kane Bullard, CEO of KB Security. His tongue sticking out. His body was found in a safe at approximately 9 a.m. on the morning of the 13th. However, the time of death was estimated as 1 a.m. of the previous day. And that's when our little lost kitten dropped the ball. That little lost kitten is, of course, the defendant. Very well then, Mr. Godot. Please call your first witness. Let me have a sip. I never drink more than 17 cups of coffee during any given trial. But the first one is always the best. Mr. Godot, your witness. Oh, I'll have a sip. Okay then, let's hear what the defendant, Mr. Ron Delight, has to say for himself. The defendant? Well, Mr. Wright, does the defense have any objections? It may be a bit of a disadvantage having the defendant testify, but... Ooh. I can remember when Mia was defending me. She allowed me to testify so she could do the cross-examination. She put a lot of trust in me back then. We have no objections, Your Honour. Okay, so I didn't get that choice. The defence will allow Mr. Delight to testify. You've got guts, try it. All right then, Mr. Rondelight. Please take the stand. He does love his Nescafe. Hey, he's going down it again. He's going down one again. You did it, didn't you? Yes. What? No, that's not true. For a moment there, I thought we'd set the record for the shortest trial ever. Well, Mr. Delight already looks plenty guilty with that face he's making. Once he opens his big mouth, he'll probably put the last nail in his own coffin. Very well. Now then, can you tell me something? If you didn't kill Bullard, why did you go to KB Security? Well, that's kind of hard to say. Why, I wish I could go home. Now then, let's hear some testimony about what happened. Trying to down my tea before it gets cold. My visit to KB Security. That evening, around 1 a.m., I went to see Mr. Bullard in his office at KB Security. The blackmail letter I got, it ordered me to go there. I'd been working for KB Security until about a year ago, so I knew where his office was. 1 a.m., the exact time the murder took place. The weak get washed away by the tides of fate. The strong drink it up. Glug. It's bitter today, too. Just like my destiny. You'd never know that from the way he's chugging it down. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, if you please. Here we go. Cross-examination time. That evening around 1 a.m. I went to see Mr. Bullard at... Yeah, I'm not going to repeat myself, but we'll... Hold it! 1 a.m., huh? You're absolutely sure about that? Yes. That's what my watch said when I was entering the office, CEO's office. No. Actually, not really sure. My watch was slow, and my internal clock was also a bit... 1 a.m.? That's the exact time the victim, Mr. Bullard, was murdered, correct? It's too late for a coffee date. That's for sure. The blackmail letter I got, it ordered me to go there. Hold it! It ordered you there? It was the first time I'd gotten a blackmail letter that ordered me to go somewhere. Does that mean you've gotten other blackmail letters then? Oh, of course. They'd say things like, steal this, or take that. Hold it. Why don't you save those for later, Mr. Delight? Please don't say any more. Now, what should I do? There's only one option in there. Keep going. So, what did the blackmail letter in question say? It said to bring $50,000. Money, eh? A perfect motive for committing murder. Oh, but wait! I never intended to pay that money anyway. Oh, is that right? After all, he had nothing to hold over my head. I had nothing to be afraid of. An important point indeed. Better add that to your testimony, lad. Let's have it added. Now, come on, chop chop. Yes, sir. Muddy Mud Skipper in outer space has a better chance of surviving than I do. The blackmail threat didn't scare me. It wasn't going to cause me trouble or anything. Okay. Just what were you being blackmailed about anyway? The blackmail letter said, if you don't want your identity revealed, correct? I'm sure it was referring to the whole mask the mask thing. But I wasn't worried. Mr. Bullard didn't have anything on me. He didn't? Anyway, I don't care what anyone says about me. Just as long as Desi believes in me. That might be the blackmail reason. For those who are unaware, he was sacked from his job, or he says he left. I think he was fired from it. And he doesn't want his wife knowing. He's doing a John List, basically. Former subject of one of my previous videos. Yeah, for those who don't know, he lost his job Didn't go to work for a good long while. It might have even been up to a year. And then ended up murdering his whole family, wife and kids, and even his mother. Yes. And then he went on the run, and I think he was on the run for, what, 17, 19 years, something like that? Yeah, really good, really interesting case. Right. So that's why Mr. Light didn't believe he was the mask. That's why I knew they were just hollow threats. I'd been working for KB Security until a year ago, so I knew where his office wire was. He's such a wife guy. You used to be a security chief for KB Security, right? That's what you just said. Yes, that's right. A security chief? You? And yet, a year ago, you were fired without notice. Revenge for an old grudge? A perfect motive for murder, wouldn't you say? Ron is such a wife guy, but not the fine bros kind, thankfully. Oh my. Oh yeah, I've heard about that one. I suppose we'll ask what it was. Yeah, why he was fired, I guess. Mr. Delight, please tell us why you were fired from your job. Well, the world is filled with those who have said, I wish I had never asked that. It's gonna be for stealing, isn't it? Okay. Defendant, please answer the question. I needed money. He stole, didn't he? You needed money. Well, you see, Jessie loves to spend it. It's kind of her hobby. Not exactly the best hobby in the world, huh, Nick? My salary wasn't nearly enough, so I stole data from the company. He stole. Come again? KB Security has a lot of security info in all sorts of companies. And since I was a security team chief, you stole some data and sold it. Mr. Bullard found out, and I was fired immediately. I'm surprised they didn't press charges. What? I wish I had never asked that. Go, not proven. Right. I was somehow able to keep it secret and made it seem like I had quit on my own. What is it, Nick? You don't look so good. Someone who brings harm to their company is fired as punishment. You do well to remember that. He sure told you. So you admit that you stole data from your company, is that correct? Yes. I'm sorry. This is a very important fact. Please add it to your testimony. Oh man, this whole thing just took a big turn for the worse, crashed, and blew up. It's going to take the jaws of life to rip this case from the clutches of disaster. How poetic, Felix. How poetic. He fired me for selling company secrets, but Desi doesn't know about that. Why would you do something like that? Well, Desi's hobby. What else? Wasting money, huh? It's not a waste! So, Mr. Light doesn't know that her husband was fired, does she? So it would seem. If she's in the court now, she knows. I'm not sure what to think about couples who keep secrets like that from each other. I can't believe it. This case has got even Maya to think about seriously about couples. Please try to stay focused, Mr. Wright. There wasn't much to his testimony, was there? Sounds like he's avoiding something. At least that's what it sounds like to me. Uh-oh. I've got a bad feeling about this. We better be careful. But if we don't find a way to make him spill the beans, we'll never get closer to the truth. Right, we're going to have to press back on another statement. We've gone through them all. That's a blatant contradiction, isn't it? Oh, no, hang on. No. Hold on. I thought I was going to have to present something. Oh, crap. Even so, there was no reason for me to pay up. No, a whole year later. Is that really true? Here we go. What is it, Nick? The fact that Ron was stealing company data. I wonder if he would have had a problem that ever became public knowledge. Yes, he would, yes. Mr. Delight. Sorry, I thought it was going to be repeating text. It looks like it's going through a different dialogue chat, which I believe you would have been in considerable trouble if your identity as a company data thief was made public. We're on the right track. Mr. Wright, what are you trying to do by bullying your own client? Men are like colonies of bacteria. The more heat you apply, the faster they grow. That's exactly right. Well then, you're free to keep up the heat, my little lawyer Remigo. Little lawyer Amigo? Yes. Now, come on. Provide some evidence to back up your assertion. Why would Mr. Delight want to keep his data stealing secret from going public? Gotta be in it. Has to be. Yes. Mr. Delight, what you said just now doesn't match what you told me yesterday. Huh? What doesn't? I think you must have been scared. Very scared. Of having a certain person find out about your secret? Was the robo-lawyer always that dramatic? Yes. Yes. Oop. A certain person? Miss Desiree Delight, the defendant's wife. But listen to me. My Desi, she's... Looks like if I just sit back and relax, the fun will end before it truly begins. Udot. Yes, we know. It was all your wife's fault. What do you mean? Mr. Delight stole company data to pay for his wife's spending habit, for which he was fired. Unable to face his own wife, someone used his dirty little secret to blackmail him. I would not want him any other way, yeah. And that is how this murder came about. Oh, No, everything is falling neatly into place for him. Don't talk about my Desi like that. Or you'll be sorry. Well, it seems that we've learned a great deal of things here so far. What do you think, Nick? I didn't think it was possible to get so thoroughly whipped in just 20 minutes. Clearly there was sufficient motive for the murder. He stole data for his wife, and he killed to protect his secret. A family man who cared just a little too much. Go on, sip it. The motive is clear. Let's move on. What happened at the crime scene at 1 a.m, Mr. Delight? Don't tell my boyfriend, but I think he knows where he stands next to Godot. Come now, tell us. We're all ears. Perfect dialogue. Come on, Nico. Godot wants to know. Where does he stand? At the CEO's office, apparently. Right. Carry on. When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there. Suddenly, I was hit on the forehead. After that, I remember being a bit dazed. If I hadn't been wearing that, I would have been killed, what? When I came to, Mr. Bullard was lying there. Dead. Uh-oh. About a foot or two shorter. I see. Suddenly hit on the head, huh? Forehead, even. I believe the detective from yesterday provided similar testimony. He said that the mask struck him on the head from behind. Ooh! No, he did the striking. Of course. Since Atme turned out to be the culprit himself, that was all a lie. No one's going to believe a pathetic lie like that. Oh, what are you saying? I really was attacked. We'll find out if what you say is true or not during the cross-examination. Phoenix, bake 'em away, toys. Got that, Mr. Trite? Don't go easy just because he's your client. If I see any sign that you are, I'll treat you to another cup of my special blend. You don't need to worry about that, Mr. Godot. I have faith in Ron. I know he didn't do it. At least I hope he didn't. Otherwise it'll be another no-win, no-fee case. Right. When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there. Let's even get a description. Who was this suspicious shadow? If there were 1,000 of me, and even if one knew, I'd tell you. Trust me. He's dodging all our questions. Is not helping us win this case. Okay, then how was the victim Mr. Bullard at the time? What do you mean by how was he? Was he already dead? Was he still alive? Maybe he was the one who hit you in the first place. Well, that's a good question. What do you think, Mr. Wright? Forget it. Forget it. Suddenly, I was hit on the forehead. After that, I remember being a bit dazed. Your forehead? Not your sirhead. Yes, I was hit on the forehead as soon as I entered the room. It was an amazingly fast and powerful attack. Do you remember anything about who hit you? Well, like I said, it was a fast and powerful hit. So I think I was a little dazed for a while. I don't think Mr. Delight even grasped what you were asking. Yeah, I'd like to show him a fast and powerful attack myself. Maybe that would knock some sense back into him. If I hadn't been wearing that, I would have been killed. That? Could you please clarify what you're referring to? Why, my Mask the Mask costume, of course. Wait just a moment. Mask the Mask? Huh? Oh, did I forget to mention it before? Just to be on the safe side, I dressed as Mask the Mask. And then I descended upon the office of the CEO of KB Security. What? And the court goes wild. Nick, did you know about this? You never told me this. I don't recall him ever mentioning it to me either. Even I didn't know that. It seems our little friend really loves to keep secrets. I'm sorry. I just never had a chance to mention it up until now. Wait. That's not right. You know how sometimes things just, slip your mind and stuff? And my 6th cup of coffee is staring up at me coldly. At any rate, we can't ignore this new piece of information. Witness, please correct your testimony. I'd have been killed if I hadn't been wearing my Mask the Mask costume. We'll press it anyway. Why were you dressed up as Mask the Mask? Why? Because I'm Mask the Mask, of course. What are you talking about? Master Mask's trial is being held next door. Ah, yes, well, I guess so. Anyway, at that time, I thought I was being blackmailed over the Master Mask issue. So I thought I should go as him, just to be safe. Oh boy. Let me tell you, it's a real pain to move around with that cape. That's why it took a lot longer than I'd expected. Took a lot longer? What's he talking about? Hold on a minute. Alright, hold on. Let's just see where this goes. Let's see where this goes. What do you mean by took a lot longer? Oh, opening the safe, of course. My cape got caught on the safe door, you see. How is this trial being held next door? We all know there is only one judge in this. Nico, can you confirm this? I don't know if I'm misremembering this, but isn't there a Canadian judge in this game? I don't know if it's in this one or if it's in one of the other games, but I'm sure there's a Canadian judge. This all happened when I was hiding Mr. Bullard's body. What was that? Back up a second. Yes? You were the one that hid the body in the safe? Well, yeah. Inconceivable! Why? Just why? What reason could you have? What were you thinking? Question. When does someone toss their dirty shorts in the washing machine? Oh, please go, Dot. I am so looking forward to seeing where this is going. What? The answer is simple. When they take them off. Oh, for fuck's sake. How is this? Does the Canadian judge turn court with blackface? No, his name's not Trudeau. As usual, I have no idea what you're saying. Do you mean that Mr. Delight hid the body because he's the murderer? So you're not as stupid as you look. His metaphor this time was really obscure. Mr. Wright, you don't mean that you knew about this whole safe business, do you? Well, yes. Why am I the only one not in the loop here? Witness, make sure you add this to the testimony. Yes, sir. Right, okay. Looks like a storm front is moving in over the fair weather judge. Hey, hold on. Let's see what he says. I panicked and hid the body in the safe. Ooh, it took about 10 minutes. But that can't be right, can it? Because... Didn't this go off at like 1 o'clock or 1:02? Here we go. Yeah, the buzzer record. Here we go. Yeah, I was going to show that. Yeah, buzzer record went off once, 1:02 on October. So why would... Yeah, okay, yeah. Your Honour, could you please take a look at this record? And what might this be? The record for the emergency buzzer that connects the CEO's office to security. If the button in the office is pressed, a security team is supposed to come running. Unless that security team, of course, is bloody Larry Butts. And according to this record, the buzzer was pushed once at 1:02 a.m. What? So if he was dead at 1 o'clock, and it took him 10 minutes to crack the safe, who's pushing the buzzer at 1:02? So, if Mr. Ronderlight truly was the murderer, he would have ran as soon as that buzzer sounded. After all, a security guard would have been heading his way. And also, it did make a bloody loud noise, didn't it? Let's remember who we're dealing with here. He probably had no idea there were security personnel in the building. Nah, he knew. He knew. Up until 1 year ago, my client was working as a chief of security. There's no way he wouldn't have known about them. But he's not there now. But, as it turns out, the guard never came. That was nothing more than a coincidence. The fact that the guard was a pathetic loser, nice, who had just gotten punched in the face by his ex's new boyfriend and wasn't anywhere in the vicinity was not something Mr. Delight could have known. Oh, we're going back and forth. Fang Z. Again, remember who we're dealing with here. It's a sure bet that Mr. Delight didn't even notice the buzzer going off. This buzzer is extremely loud. There is no way he could have ignored something like that. If he had been conscious, that is. Conscious? What do you mean by that? Ugh. Coffee time. Fine. Let's hear your theory. Recall the defendant's testimony. I too call my friends pathetic losers on a regular basis. The moment he entered the victim's office, someone attacked him. Mr. Delight said he felt dazed. I'm willing to wager that he was knocked unconscious for at least a few minutes. Unconscious? So he fainted? That's why Mr. Delight didn't know that the buzzer had sounded. And that's why he thought he had time to hide the body. Good lad. So what are you trying to say? Mr. Delight was knocked out, and the buzzer went off soon afterwards. Now, unless my client was able to hit the buzzer while he was unconscious, it can only mean that there was another person in that room. That's right. Whoever it was, they knocked out Ron Delight and then pressed the buzzer. Makes sense. But if he was not, I don't know, would that have... I don't know if the buzzer would have been louder. I mean, it was a loud buzzer. It was a loud buzzer after all. Yeah, but then if you're knocked out, I suppose it's different being asleep, isn't it? Order in the court, Mr. Wright. This is preposterous. It was this kid. Ron Delight is the one who killed Kane Bullard. No, he didn't. Then who pressed the buzzer? He must have tripped and fell onto it after bumping his head. It was the victim, of course. He pressed the buzzer when the defendant attacked him. Aww. Oh, that's sweet. He didn't die right away. He must have held on long enough to push that button. But then who was this? Ah, yeah, because we're still arguing as to who the silhouetted person was. Yeah, he... Oh, I should go back in the pin comment. I've got my previous streams. If you check out the last one, you can also see what he says about me as well, thank. So Cain Bullard sounded the buzzer himself. What is your opinion on this, Mr. Wright? I need to prove that the real criminal was there at the scene. How? Can I prove that it wasn't Cain Bullard who sounded the buzzer? Well, I mean, there's only one way we're going to find out, innit? We're going to have to call Atme from his trial, surely. The defence's opinion is this, Your Honour. This piece of evidence proves that it wasn't the victim who sounded the buzzer. Well, he couldn't have done. No, he couldn't have done it because look, yeah, look. Go. We've got the autopsy. 1 a.m. Blunt force trauma to the head, and then we know that was set off at 1:02. Let's go with this. I believe this is the piece of incontrovertible evidence you were looking for. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I said that right. The emergency buzzer? Is there some kind of clue on it? Oh, lack of fingerprints. Absolutely not. Hey, come on now. At least give some thought to what you say before opening your mouth. No fingerprints on it. The fact that there are absolutely no clues is itself the clue. Now I'm the one who's clueless. Well, this button has no fingerprints on it. He pushed it with his nose. Come on, Godot. Clap back with that. If Mr. Bullard had really pressed it himself, naturally he would have left his fingerprints behind. Moriarty, how are you? I am very good, mate. Rhonda Light obviously wiped them off after he died. So he died, pushed the buzzer. Why would he? The guard could have come in at any moment. He touched that button. I know he did. The defendant, Mr. Delight, was dressed as Master Mask, so how would he have known it was him? A Master Mask always wears gloves. That he does. What reason could he have possibly had to wipe the buttons free of fingerprints? Order! 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 It would seem I've been forced to eat crow. Okay. I wonder what blend number crow-flavoured coffee is. However, if the real killer was there at the scene, why would that person press the emergency buzzer? Shouldn't they have run away without putting themselves in extra danger? What's with this awkward silence all of a sudden? It looks like you're fresh out of parlour tricks. They're onto you, Nick. Just give me a minute to collect my thoughts. The real culprit killed Mr. Bullard at around 1 a.m. And Mr. Delight just happened to waltz in when the murder was taking place, right? Donk. The killer clobbered Mr. Delight and then sounded the buzzer. Even though security was supposed to respond right away if the buzzer was pressed. Security was supposed to respond. Oh! Time's up, Mr. Wright. Let's hear what you have to say. Very well then. You've got some guts. I like that in an opponent. I like that in an opponent. Why did the real killer sound the emergency buzzer? Well, duh, to call the security guard. Obviously. The killer knew that if they pressed that button, the guard would come running. And that was exactly what they wanted. To find Rhonda Light with the body. Do you mean to say the killer called the guard on purpose? Yeah. Although, as it turned out, he never showed up. Because he was getting his clock cleaned at the time? Phrasing. What a touching story. You're saying the killer had a change of heart and called the guard to turn himself in? No. I'm not. When that buzzer sounded, there were 3 people in that office. The victim, Kane Bullard, who was already dead. The defendant, Rhonda Light, who was out cold. And our mysterious third person, the real killer. Hypothetically, yes. Now then, in this situation, if the real killer made an escape, what would happen? The only ones left in the room would be the victim and Ron. And if any security guards came running in there all that time, they would think that I was the murderer. Yes, that's precisely the real killer's objective. To frame Rhonda Light for the murder. See how it's all making sense now? Glug. What cup's this? Oh, okay, spits it out. I actually thought he was going to lob it at Phoenix's face. Order, order, order! Huh. It would seem I've been made to eat my words once again. Actually, you've been made to do a spit take with a cup of coffee. Mr. Wright, who was it? Who was that? Who was it that tried to frame me? Wait a second. I'm the one and only Master Mask, so... Nick, you mean the real killer is... We're going to drag that person in here right now. Chat, who are we dragging in? I don't have any solid proof yet. Think about it. The killer knew Mr. Delight's identity, and they also knew that he had been called to KB security that night. So the killer used him to execute a well-crafted plan to murder Kane Bullard. Now then, let's hear your accusation, Mr. Wright. Who was it that framed Mr. Rondelight for the murder of Kane Bullard? It was Mia Fey. No, I'm joking. It was this. It was him. It was him. He did it. He did it. Detective Luke Atme. He's the only one who could have done it. Aaron's call. Don't answer it, Murgu. Don't answer it. You mean Mask the Mask did it? Your Honor, the person being tried in the court next to us is not Mask the Mask at all. He is in actuality the true murderer of Kane Bullard. Order! Order! Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Theft and murder. Which is the more serious crime? Well, they're not even close. Murder is the more serious crime, of course. It's a capital crime subject to a capital punishment. Well, please remember the trial from yesterday, if you would. When Luke Atme confessed, there was a huge commotion in the courtroom. Well, of course, the famous detective was unmasked as Mask the Mask. Instead of being convicted of murder, he was found guilty of grand larceny. That was his true objective all along. To be found guilty? Master Mask had the perfect alibi for when the murder took place. He was stealing the urn at Lordley Taylor. In other words, being found guilty as Mask the Mask was Luke Atme's airtight, watertight and unassailable alibi. A guilty verdict as an alibi? I mean, it's not out there, is it? It's not far out there in the terms of alibis. I mean, we know the Stephen McCullough trial, for those who've watched my video on that. He used a live stream as an alibi. And actually, I got an update about that case earlier today from my Google alerts. Apparently, he has pled not guilty to it, so looks like it's going to a full trial. It's incredible how, because he's admitted that the live stream was pre-recorded, so that argument's gone right down the shitter now. You know, it's almost time. For what? For Luke Atme's verdict. It was a pretty simple trial, after all. If we're going to stop this trial and stall that one, we need to do it now. Of course. That's assuming you have proof that the detective was the one who committed the murder.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Mr. Luke Atmey's trial has indeed attracted the attention of the entire country. If we were to intrude and fail to provide adequate proof of his true crime, Mr. Delight would be left with no grounds for an appeal. Am I really sure about this? Bet's only as good when your life's on the ante.
Mr. Wright, I believe in you.
Mr. Delight.
So, please, I'm begging you.
Thanks, but my decision will determine the rest of your life. Can I really risk your life like this? Oh.
Phoenix.
Ow. Was that?
Don't stray, Phoenix. Ooh, for your client, take the path of trust. Ooh, spooky.
Voice. It sounds like Mia. Look to your right. Oh, Your Honour, the defence requests an immediate recess. So that's your answer, huh? Very well. I've decided as well. This court will now take a 20-minute recess. Mr. Wright, when we return, please summon Mr. Luke Atmey to the stand. Yes, Your Honour. October 14, 11:58 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 5. Oh, hello.
Well, Sir Detective Atmey. I have to say, Mr. Payne, you performed splendidly. Oh no, Sir Detective Atmey, you were the one who...
It's the Canadian judge! That's enough. This court sees no reason to further prolong this trial. I can't do a Canadian accent. This court finds the defendant Look at me about guilty. Hold it. Wait! Don't hand down your verdict yet, please. Oh, what's all the commotion about?
Well, Sir Lawyer, welcome to my courtroom.
Who's this hoser, eh? My name is Phoenix Wright, attorney at law. I knew there was a Canadian judge. And I wish to file an accusation... I'll start that again. And I wish to file an accusation against this man, Luke Atmey.
Accusation? You accuse Mask the Mask?
That man is not Mask the Mask. He's just a ruthless murderer. What? Oh, he's sweating. Our man's sweating. To be continued. Right then. Save it. And we'll continue. Let's go. I reckon we can get this done tonight. October 14, 12:14 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 4. My sis? I could have sworn I heard Mia's voice. So then, she's still alive? Inside your heart? Oh, Nicky boy? Oh, Mr. Light. Is it true that Detective is the real killer? To be honest, we don't have any definitive proof. But he's the only one who could have done it. But wasn't he at Lordly Taylor that night? Not to mention, we don't exactly know his motive. I mean, why would Detective Atmey want to kill Kane Bullard? Oops, it's almost time. Better get back to the courtroom. I need to find some solid proof. It's got to happen sooner rather than later. October 14, 12:21 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 6. Do you know what? That little snippet there, I wonder if that's any time you see that Canadian judge. I'm sure he features again in it, and he does say a boot. Who's this hoser? Now then, court is back in session. Mr. Luke Atmey, please take the stand.
Well. How do you do, Sir Lawyer? I never would have thought to see you acting so recklessly.
I couldn't let them hand down your verdict just yet. Not when it would have given you your perfect alibi. An alibi by the name of Mask the Mask?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid even the great Luke Atme has no idea what you mean. Of course, I have been in the next courtroom ever since 10 o'clock this morning. I'm afraid there is no way I could know what's been going on in here.
You've been in the defendant's seat all day long, correct? Being tried as Mask the Mask?
Indeed. It's truly child's play to fool the ignorant masses. Not only did the poor fools ask me to protect their valuables, they even gave me a generous reward upon returning their own property to them. Take this red diamond ring that sparkles upon my divine finger, for example.
So you continue to insist that you are, in fact, Mask the Mask?
Of course.
Very well then. Look at me. Let us begin with this simple question. On October 12th at 1 a.m., Cain Ballard was murdered. Where were you at that time?
One without knowledge lacks even the knowledge that he should be ashamed of himself. But don't worry. I will not hold it against you, Sir Judge.
Thanks. All right, Mr. Atme. Night of the murder. Speak. We're all ears.
As you wish, Sir Prosecutor.
Put this honest nose on Atme. Or we about to prove that right. The alibi.
I was stealing the urn as Mask the Mask, just as I announced I would. I had more than enough time to prepare. It was a pathetically easy job. A photograph contains no words, but in this case, one turned out to be my witness. The time at which the camera captured Mask the Mask was the same time as the murder.
No, it wasn't. I instantly, as soon as he was going through that testimony, when it showed that, my eyes instantly went to the time. He had a minute and, was it a minute and like 17 seconds? It seems the main point of discussion will be this photo of the crime scene. Everything up until now was all part of his plan. There has to be a secret to this picture as well.
Even the great Master Mask cannot be in two places at once. Now then, if you'll excuse me, I have a verdict to receive.
Unfortunately, Mr. Atme, we still have to do your cross-examination.
A fool is too foolish to know that he is a fool.
I think he's trying to say that you're full of it, Nick. The only thing that's full of it is his alibi. Here we go. We'll press ahead.
I was stealing the mark.
Oh yeah, we'll just go through it. So this photograph is the proof, correct?
Indeed it is.
Mind you, is a minute and a half, like a minute and 15 seconds, whatever, long enough? I'm sure we've got to present at that though. And the man in the photo is certainly wearing a mask.
That's why I'm called Mask the Mask.
Conveniently, that also means that there is no way to tell who this really is. What do you mean? Are you saying that this is not, in fact, Luke Atme? That it could be an accomplice dressed up as Mask the Mask to create an alibi?
Oh, what an interesting idea.
Oh, unless that's Ron stealing it.
Are you saying that I, Lone Wolf Luke, had an accomplice?
Unless it was him. Hang on, let me think this through. Ron steals the urn, goes up to the security, gets bonked on the head. Finish that sentence. And then it doesn't make sense. Are you saying that I, Lone Wolf, Nah. Hold on, I'll fight. If Luke Atme was at KB Security during the yeah, that's the point, yeah. And the Master Mask in this picture has to be a fake. then there really was an accomplice. But right now I have no idea who it was.
I don't have any idea right now either.
Baseless objections are just what the guy wants. Although, mind you, Ron has always said that he didn't steal the urn. Oh, I don't know, is he? I don't know. Okay, there's got to be another way. I'm going to find it. Okay, we'll crack on.
I had more than enough time to prepare. It was a pathetically easy job, blah 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 blah.
I believe Adrian Andrews hired you at one point.
Well, that's right. That was over 20 days ago. I'm not mistaken.
You sent the calling card to Lordly Taylor 10 days before the heist. That would mean you sent out your card after you began your security watch, right?
Indeed. There was no reason why I couldn't do both jobs at once. It was the perfect opportunity to steal my latest target.
I see. You truly are evil, aren't you?
Whew. Yes, evil is what I am. Hey, Nick, isn't there something odd about this? Detective Atme was always proud of his ace detective skills, right? But if the urn was stolen from Lordly Taylor while he was the only one watching it, he'd have no way to maintain his perfect ace detective persona.
You know, that's true. It is kind of odd.
A photograph contains no words, but in this case, one turned out to be my witness.
So by photograph, you mean this piece of evidence here? Is that correct?
Indeed it is. That is it. The very thing that proves I committed the crime.
The very thing that proves you committed the crime? When you think about it, it's really odd. You say that almost as if you had this picture taken on purpose. He was simply caught by the very camera that he had set up. That sounds very convenient. We all have days like that.
Indeed. It turned out that there was no such thing as the perfect crime after all. Life is truly an ironic thing. A sad blue melody.
Yeah, it looks like I'd better gather more information for now. Excuse me. He's truly the killer. There's got to be something phony in that photo.
The time at which the camera captured the mask was the same time as the murder.
About the camera that took this photograph.
Oh, come on now. It's all too clear what you're thinking.
Huh?
You think that I altered the timestamp on the photograph, don't you?
Okay, here we go. I'm afraid that's impossible. The camera was set up by Lordly Taylor, and on top of that, it was Lordly Taylor staff that printed that picture's data. Oh. Unfortunately for the defense, there's no way that picture could have been altered. Yeah, it's seeming a bit of a stretch in it. I see. It looks like I'd better find something else that could be suspicious. Okay, yeah, we're going to rule out the photo then. So, this alibi is false? Well, it has to be, or he couldn't have killed Mr. Bullard at KB Security. But I'm not really spotting anything unusual. There are two possibilities. Either the master mask in this photo is a fake, or the photo itself is. Oh, we already know about... Okay, we already know about the, brooch. Is there anything else that gave it away? Unless the camera was configured in a different time zone. Yeah, that's a good shout, actually. Oh. Like, bell, maybe? Is there a bell? No, there's no bell. Right. Hang on a minute. No, wrong one. No, that's there as well. So I saw the little smiley face on the hat. I thought maybe that's it. Right, okay. We'll talk about the time. I believe Adrian Andrews hired you at one point.
Well, that's right. That was over 20 days ago, if I'm not mistaken.
What's in the camera data evidence? Let's have a look. The warehouse camera went off once at around 1 a.m. on the night of the crime, which is consistent with the timestamp. Yeah, that seems... saying around 1 a.m. I mean, that is around 1 o'clock, innit? I mean, you sent the calling card to Lordly Taylor 10 days before the heist. That would mean you sent out the card after you began your security watch, right?
Well, indeed. There was no reason why I couldn't do both jobs at once. It was a perfect opportunity to steal my latest target.
I see. You truly are evil, aren't you?
Yes, evil is what I am.
Hey, Nick, isn't there something odd about this? Oh, here we go. We're going back round again, aren't we? Okay. Okay, hold on. Yeah, right, press it again. So by photograph, you mean this piece of evidence here? Is that correct?
Well, indeed.
Oh, hang on a minute. No, wait. If we look at the ink paint stain, you can see there's a square on it. Why isn't the box damaged? Have we got the box as evidence in here? Yeah, we have, haven't we? Look. That's the urn box. That's the box. Or the urn box, sorry. You seeing that there's no staining on it? The very thing that proves you committed the crime. Should even you understand by now, Lordly Taylor provided that camera, blah, 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 nobody could have tampered with it. It means I could not have killed Kane Bullard unless I had an accomplice. Come on, think long and hard about that night. The basement warehouse and this picture that supposedly captures it. It's got to be here. Isn't there something funny about this picture? I think I might go with it, you know.
Are you implying that this picture is a fake?
You bet I am. There's definitely... Hey, isn't the urn in the picture that got splashed with paint too, didn't it? No. Oh, no, wait a minute. You know what is missing? You know what is missing? Statue's missing. Excuse me. Maybe it was moved up. Could it have been moved up? What's that noise? You bet I am. There's definitely something strange about this picture. We took a look around the basement warehouse that night before the theft took place, and there's something in this photo that doesn't match my memory of that night. It's the Amy Faye statue, isn't it? What about this photograph do you find funny? I find this bit funny. It's got to be the it has to be the statue, isn't it? Oh, the funny part is right here. Why, this is a blood stain. No, it's not. Ah, blood. Now this case is getting interesting. Not exactly. The stain is actually pink paint. Oh, just paint? And peach-coloured at that. From blood to peaches. Judge sure loves going on his wild tangents. It's not really a tangent. The problem with this photograph is not the paint. The problem is when you consider the layout of the basement of the warehouse. Have we got the layout here? Oh, we don't. Excuse me. We don't have the layout. Okay. It turns out there's something that should be there. Isn't nowhere to be. Okay. He's sweating. Well, Mr. Wright, what is supposed to be in this picture instead of the paint stains? It's got to be this. There we go. And if we consider the evidence, I think we could go back to the... Don't know. Let's see what happens. The supervisor of the treasure exhibit stated the following. Well, there's a good reason for that. On the day of the crime, around noon,
that golden statue just happened to arrive from the mountain training hall. I realized that the statue would be the perfect size for covering up the paint stains, so she moved it across. That's where I put it where you first saw it. I myself was there the night the theft took place and saw the statue in that spot. If this picture was truly taken on that night, then that statue should have been there. But when I went there the day after the theft, that statue of the old bag was sitting in the corner. Oh. Did he fiddle with the picture? The data? Maybe it was the day before? Perhaps it was somehow pushed there accidentally. Your Honour, the statue is slightly larger than yourself and quite heavy. It would take more than an accidental push to move it that distance. Well, in that case, can you prove it? And could you give us the rhyme and reason as to why that statue was moved that night? Can you do it, Nick? Never mind who moved it. The real question is, why did they move it? Well, Mr. Wright, I hope you're prepared with your answer. Now then, who was the one that moved the golden statue on the night of the crime? Well, if we're going by the evidence, the fact that we're accusing him, let's stick with this. The one who moved the statue is none other than Luke Atme. Oh, come now, Sir Lawyer. Here you go again on one of your strange delusions. Mr. Wright, what basis do you have for your strange delusions? It's very simple. The witness was the only one in the basement warehouse that night. That is indeed very simple. However, why would I want to move a heavy golden statue? The reason for moving the golden statue, here's where our battle really begins. Well, Mr. Wright, what reason did the witness have to move that statue? The reason can be found here in this photograph. Luke Atme, you pretended to be Master Mask to create an alibi that's showing you were at Lordly Taylor that night. But this photograph contains a single fatal flaw. If the statue had been there, your lie would be exposed like a cheap film at a drugstore. And that is why you had to move the statue. A single fatal flaw? Interesting theory. Please enlighten us. Just where in this picture does this lie exist? It's got to be the timestamp. Because at the time this was going on, Master Mask was upstairs getting, well, no, because he was upstairs at the room at the same time. It's got to be this. It's got to be this. Naturally, the lie is in the photo and the timestamp. I love winging it and then finding out the explanation afterwards. What do you mean? I'll tell you exactly what I mean. Please do. On the night in question, Luke Atme went to KB security and murdered Kane Bullard. Therefore, it's obvious. It would have been impossible for him to have been at Lordly Taylor at this time. He must have doctored it, yeah. But what does that have to do with the statue being moved? Remember, if you will, Your Honour. When was this statue placed beside the warehouse door? Well, the statue was taken down to the warehouse on the day of the crime, and it was placed there in order to cover up the paint. Exactly. Luke Atme had already decided on the time when he was going to kill the victim. And so, in order to create an alibi for that time, he took this picture days before the murder took place. Days, I say. What the? Of course, the statue hadn't yet been brought down to the basement warehouse yet. Ah. So on the day of the crime, Mr. Atme must have been quite nervous. As nervous as a long-tailed cat in a rocking chair factory, so to speak. So how do we know it was taken days before? Why? Because something that wasn't supposed to be there had been brought down and placed where it wasn't supposed to be. And that is why Luke Atme had to move the statue on the night of the murder. He had to make the room match the way with the way it had been in this photo. So there you go, GB.
it looks like we've managed to turn about this. So how can we prove that it was doctored then? Because it says that the camera went off once. What would have set that off? Order! Order! Mr. Ratme, is this true?
One moment, Your Honor. Have you forgotten this?
What's that?
The data for the basement warehouse computer. According to this, the camera did indeed go off on the night of the crime.
It's true that the camera had been set up by the Lordly Taylor staff. However, the program used to manage that data was yours. That alone would have allowed you to tamper with the data. Ah! Of course, that's right. I knew he was wrong, and the second I saw his nose.
Order! Order! Mr. Godot, what is the meaning of this?
Plug. Hey! It just ended, did it? Evening, JFC.
Godot, I warned you about making me wait. Now put that coffee down!
My 11th cup. I've promised to drink no more than 17 during a trial. Which means I'm still good to the last drop. However, the defense has a very good point. A good point? So what? We are all but travelers on a road of infinite points. I think he's got his points mixed up with his other points. So you say this photograph was taken ahead of time, and that the statue was moved in order to make it match. Well, that's a very interesting idea. However, there's one point that can't be denied. Which is? Well, that it's only a possibility. Men that are trapped by the chains of maybe can never reach their dreams.
That's very true.
No way! Don't fall for that, Your Honour. 17 Cups is really going to have the shits after this drop, indeed. Hey, Mr. Damask.
Yes?
If there's no funny business in your actions as Master Mask, there should be no problem with you telling us your strategy. So let's hear it. Yes, please provide this court with your testimony. I'll just save it quickly. Okay. About your plan to steal the sacred urn. Okay.
I first received a request from Lordly Taylor about 20 days ago. The urn was placed in a box, and Svari, it was then sent to the warehouse. Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure, so I sent my card 10 days beforehand. I then handled security by myself to ensure that my crime would go smoothly. At last, I held the urn in my hands for the first time at 1 a.m. on October 12th.
That's pretty much all stuff we've heard before, isn't it? Yeah. But we'll find the truth hidden in the nuggets of new information he gave.
Witness, you're sure there were no mistakes this time?
Svari.
I assume that means he's sure.
Very well then. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
Sacred Urn Heist. Testify! You were asked to guard the urn by Miss Adrian Andrews, is that right?
Indeed. It seemed that they heard of my sparkling reputation.
See, Miss Andrews is still attracting the weirdos. You'd better watch out too, Maya. Sick.
The urn was placed in a box, and Svari, it was sent to the warehouse.
You mean this box?
Yes, that pathetic box. Lady Andrews was especially taken with that urn, and she wouldn't let anyone enter the storeroom, not even me.
Interesting new tidbit.
Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime.
Hold on a minute. To security at Lordly Taylor, I will be coming to purloin the most priceless work of art on display in your Treasure of Corraine exhibit. Take good care of the speckled urn, won't you? Yours truly, Mask the Mask. Don't look speckled there, does it? Okay. Okay. So you're sure that you'd never seen the urn before?
Indeed. You may ask Lady Andrews to confirm for yourself. My security was focused entirely on the entrance to that warehouse. However, look at me, let no information whatsoever slip through my fingers. I knew it was an extremely vulnerable treasure, so I sent my card 10 days beforehand.
That's consistent. You mean this calling card?
That's right. That is, without a doubt, my calling card.
Guess Mr. Delight didn't make this after all. Of course, because Atme knew about the emblem. Making this card authentic would have been child's play for him. Yeah.
I then handled security by myself to ensure that my crime would go smoothly.
And no one entered the basement warehouse?
Unfortunately, there were many different treasures being taken there. Thus, for a period of approximately 5 days, people were indeed going in and out of the warehouse. At last, I held the urn in my hands for the first time at 1 AM on October 12th.
And this is the photo that proves that, huh? Hasn't even got the splotches on it. Unless it's facing... unless it's splotches on the other side.
Indeed. To be honest, even if a photo was taken, I didn't think it would matter terribly much.
Hey Nick, if this photo is a fake, Detective Atme might have stolen the urn whenever this was taken. Well, that's true. You know, he's been saying that he never saw the urn until that night. Excuse me, I think it might be the card. If we can prove that he's lying there, we can wrap this up and put a bow on it. Let's take a good hard look at the court record. I think I already know. Not a lot to go on, is there? That detective's been covering his tracks. There's only one thing we need to prove in this cross-examination. And he took this photo well before the actual night of the crime. Alright then, how do we do that? There's one thing that Atme stated very clearly, that he had never seen the urn before he stole it. We need to prove that he's lying. We certainly do. I want to present... There? Yeah, cool. Mr. Atme, if you really are Mask the Mask, then you also wrote this calling card, correct?
No, but of course.
Is there a problem with that calling card? Well, allow me to read a passage from the calling card that Mr. Master Mask had written. Mr. Master Mask. Take good care of the speckled urn. Now, the speckled here surely refers to this pink pattern on the sacred urn. Yes, that is true. But so what? Truth be told, there was no way that Master Mask could have known about this pattern.
What do you mean?
Well, this pink spotted pattern on the urn. That is actually nothing more than paint stains. Paint stains? And these stains did not appear until after the urn had been taken to Lordly Taylor. I'm not finding this joke to be very funny, Mr. Trite. The day that the sacred urn was taken to the warehouse, the urn was broken due to human error. Or should I say an error-prone human. And that's when the pink paint got on the urn. Ugh. Can't be serious. And yet this calling card clearly mentions the paint pattern. Well, it does say speckled, but I mean, that's up for argument. Which means Detective Atme had seen this urn long before the crime ever took place. In fact, he saw it when this fake photo was taken. And because this photo is a fake, Your alibi for the night of the murder no longer holds water.
Waka 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 waka.
Alright, come on. Witness, do you have anything to say for yourself? Alright, that did it. It's broken.
Nick, I think it's a little early for a victory pose.
Huh? Ah, crap. It's so sad. No one has any conviction these days. Conviction, you say? Yesterday, we all had decided unanimously that this man was Master the Mask. And now we're calling him a murderer. You don't think we're being a tad fickle? That's a good point. No way! Don't fall for that too, Your Honor. You say that Luke Admir was the one who killed Cain Bullard. Then let me ask you this. Why would he do that?
An excellent point. Motive, Mr. Wright. Motive. I chew my very murderous motive manifest. Nick, he's getting his second wind.
He shouldn't have eaten that curry. If he prepared an alibi and pinned his crime on Ron Delight, as you say, he must have had a very strong motive for murder. The only one with any motive we've seen is Ron Delight. Isn't that right, Detective?
Indeed. According to my own research, the boy's motive is clear.
Without a motive, it's nearly impossible to prove guilt in a murder case. Now then, maybe you can enlighten us as to what the defendant's motives were.
I'd be honored to, Sir Oldtimer.
They're doing everything they can to make Ron look suspicious. Despite our lack of hard information, this may be our only chance. Motive or Moida?
I, Luke Admir, had no points of contact with the victim whatsoever. Cain Bullard decided to investigate Master the Mask and simply mistook who he was. It was Mr. Bullard who wrote the blackmail letter and sent it to Ron Delight. And it was again Mr. Bullard who harbored a grudge against Mr. Delight for his betrayal. Mr. Bullard's mistake is quite excusable. The defendant truly believes he has masked the mask. That is why Mr. Delight saw it fit to kill Cain Bullard. Truly a tragedy.
So the victim, Cain Bullard, blackmailed the defendant. This is the blackmail letter found in the defendant's apartment. This is the blackmail letter found in the defendant's apartment. A handwriting test confirms that Mr. Bullard was indeed the one who wrote the letter. So, what? Oh, we didn't know who was... I just assumed it was Admir. So, okay. Very well, Mr. Wright. Begin your cross-examination. Mind you, Cain Bullard would have known about the sacking because he would have done the sacking, presumably. Vote for murder.
I, Luke Admir.
Let's keep going. And who in the world is going to prove that? I will. After doing a thorough background check of Detective Admir and Cain Bullard, we were unable to find any links between them. Excuse me. It's all in the report. Perhaps they were connected through their work. They were both involved in security. Nope. That was blunt.
In any case, the only one with a motive was Mr. Delight.
Okay. Mistook?
That's right, mistook. From the Old Norse mistaka, meaning to take in error.
That wasn't what I meant. Just who did the victim mistake Master the Mask to be?
Why, the answer is obvious. Ron Delight, of course.
Hold on. If you don't want your true identity revealed to the world, come to KB Security at 1 AM. 50,000. If you don't, I'll take that red diamond you... Oh! You leave it blatant, don't you? Boy, I'd like to wipe that smug look off that guy's face. I'm going to leave it. Hang on, I can't stand to hear any more of these long-winded stories. A lot of pressing him further for now. That's fine, continue. Crack on, mate. I was looking forward to one of his long-winded stories. No, not tonight. It was Mr. Yeah, okay. If we're assuming that he was mistaken, because he sent it to Luke at me, who then sent it on to Rhonda Light. That's what's going on. Mind if I ask you a few questions, Detective Atme?
Well, if it's just a few, I guess it's all right.
When you said that this letter was addressed to Rhonda Light, I couldn't help but notice one major contradiction.
Contradiction?
I don't know where a walking contradiction like you gets off saying things like that. You'll want to talk. At times like these, men are made to express themselves with their fists. Why don't you show us what you've got there, Junior? Indeed. Time to man up, Mr. Wright. Show us the contradicting evidence in the content of the blackmail letter. Oh, shoot. Right, hold on. About first time. Oh. Oh, you can't see it there, can you? You're busy shoveling snow. Oh, bless you, mate. Ooh. No ring there either. Kind of want to go. Let's go with this, because if you look at, he doesn't have the gem on his left hand. Let's go with this. Take it. Here we go. Take a good look at this newspaper clipping. It contains a picture of the Tear of Emanon, the stolen jewel. What about it? The problem is this jewel's colour. Oh, okay, we'll talk about the jewel, are we? Colour? I'm not much for discussing colour myself. Well, according to the clipping, the colour of the stolen jewel was blue. However, in the blackmail letter, a totally different jewel is mentioned. Ah, okay. Excuse me. I'll take that red diamond you received the other day. Red? Trying to chip away at some... I can't see because of a silly heart. Oh, some of the ice. Oh, good luck, man. Which means the red diamond described in the blackmail letter is not the Tear of Emanon that Master Mars stole at all. Okay, we're going to focus on that then. Okay. And your point is, Mr. Trite? So you were trying to say that this blackmail letter was intended for someone else? Yes. That is what you're trying to say, right, Trite? That is what you're trying to say, right, Mr. Wright? Well, that is what you're trying to say, right, Nick? Yes. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. This is who Kane Bullard was actually blackmailing. Him. It was none other than Mia. Naturally, it was you, Detective Atme.
Do you have some sort of basis for that claim?
You've been personally involved in every single Master Mars case. And in the last case, you recovered what was stolen. And received a jewel. As your reward. A jewel? Probably the one wrapped conspicuously around your finger. That red diamond ring. That is the diamond referred to in the letter. Which means that Kane Bullard wrote that letter in order to blackmail you. I thought we'd be done now. Order. Yada yada yada. It seems you've gone too far with your childish pranks, Mr. Trite. Uh-oh. Not like the way he said that. Kane Bullard blackmailing Luke at me? Are you for real? Yeah, I am.
Nick, come on, stand up to him.
Then answer me this. The blackmail letter contains the following passage. If you don't want your secret identity, well, your identity revealed to the world, yes, it certainly does. Kane Bullard threatened to make Luke Atmy's identity public knowledge. An identity he wanted to keep a secret. So just what was that identity? Atmy killed Kane Bullard because he was afraid of his secret becoming known. What's the identity he wanted to keep secret? This is what it all comes down to, Nick. The identity that Luke Atmy wanted so desperately to keep secret was his identity as... Shoot, okay, I feel like these are too obvious. Right, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna save it here. I feel like these are. It's gonna be one of these two, I think, but we'll test this one. Oh, Luke Atmy was the blackmailer. Yeah, but then how would if... Yeah, hey now. Isn't that a little different from what you've been saying? You said that Kane Bullard was the one blackmailing Luke Atmy. Yeah, it's kind of like a domino, isn't it? You saying that Atmy was blackmailing someone else on top of that? Ugh, you have to admit, that does sound a little odd. It's not odd. It's the only thing that makes any sense. Kane Bullard was blackmailing Luke Atmy, but Ron DeLite was also being blackmailed by a certain someone, which would have been Luke Atmy. So, did you start receiving blackmail letters after this incident? That's a detective. Yeah, see, I thought it was going to be one of those two, to be honest. I only saved it and tried that one to see what would happen. But here we go. Yes, just a few days after the Tear of Eminon heist. After that, I started getting the plans in the mail. I received plans from some very kind person. Incredibly detailed plans. It's almost if it'd been scoping out the joint. Detailed plans. In which case, that would mean that Ron DeLite was actually masked the mask. That is what we're claiming. Someone else came up with the plans and had Mr. DeLite steal his targets for him. And that someone was none other than Luke Atmy.
Shh! Silence! Now I see. It's all becoming clear.
What is?
When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Careless, with a tendency to jump to conclusions. Am I wrong? How did you... You say that I, Luke Atmy, was blackmailing Ron DeLite? In which case, I would naturally know all about his relation to Master Mask.
Well, yeah.
Ron DeLite started receiving plans from his second crime onward, correct? Which means I learned of his identity when he committed that first crime.
Good point. You certainly couldn't have blackmailed him otherwise. In that case, let's see some hot, bitter evidence. During the first crime, how did Luke Atmy know that Ron DeLite was Master Mask? Well, presumably it'd be the news clip. Would it be this? Yeah, he's in the photo, isn't he? It's gotta be this. It's gotta be this. I think I see it. See what? When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Gets into lots of mischief, trying to be the centre of attention.
What do you mean?
Didn't deny it. This newspaper clipping. It has a picture of you and Ron DeLite in his guard uniform. It seems that Master Mask didn't just disappear into thin air. He just took off his outfit and hid it in a bucket. That sounds far too stupid to be true. Correct. With tricks like that, he couldn't fool a baby, let alone an ace detective. And that's when you figured it out, Mr. Acme. Hey, Nico. What you having for dinner? That's when you learned that he was the real killer, blah, 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 whatever. Oh, the court are chatting amongst themselves. He's just a slimy blackmailer. What a fraud. Trying to pass himself off as an ace detective.
Why, you? How dare you expose me like that? Why, I mean, I've never blackmailed anyone in my life. I'm a famous and proud ace detective. And also Master Mask. Why can't you understand that?
Get a bit cold. Just wet me. Toweling robe back on. Warm up a little bit. Go. I'm afraid you were neither a proud thief nor an ace detective. Oh, ramen, nice. You're a blackmailer and a murderer. That is your true identity.
Why, you? How dare you even dare? I'm trying to do something with those big mouth of yours, you real fools. I say, none of you can compare my genius. You're just jealous. So good. Das erklärt mir. Come on, Trate. He's the detective on the corner of the blackmail murder. It's enough to make one laugh.
We done it? It would seem we finally arrived at the real answer. That was quite a performance by Mr. Atme. Bailiff, please prepare a cell for Mr. Atme. Fudge. I feel like we're going to see a lot of this. I mean, what, we're 2 hours into the stream now almost? The hammer that strikes too fast has no time to aim. What do you mean? I'm already prepared to deliver my ruling. Allow me to say one thing. I will be the one to judge. Acme is a sad Tisme. A tad Tisme. No, just a smidgen, just a smidgen. You don't get much more in your face than that. It appears that your claws weren't quite sharp enough, Mr. Trite. What do you... It is true that you've proven a lot of things. Things like Luke Acme was a filthy blackmailer, and that he wasn't at Lordly Taylor on the night of the murder. Well, that's right. That's why he was the one who killed Mr. But... There's still one thing you have yet to prove. What's that? Just because he wasn't at the warehouse doesn't mean he was at the murder scene. Therefore, if you can't prove that this pitiful excuse for the man was at KB security, then I don't see how a verdict can be delivered. No way! Order in the court. Well, Mr. Wright, this is it. This is the final round. I've got to prove that Atme was at Mr. Bullard's office on that night. But can you really prove that? That's long enough, Mr. Trite. I want to hear your answer. That night, Luke Acme was at KB security, and the defense... Right. I've got nothing. Okay. Okay, we might get more testimony. I can't prove it. Just as I thought. But if we hear more of Detective Atman's testimony, unfortunately, that's as far as you go, Mr. Trite. What do you mean? I won't allow for any more testimony. That's what I mean.
What an a-hole.
What? Have you forgotten? Admi is here after we interrupted his own trial. No, I didn't save. I thought... I saved... actually, you know what? Good shout. I mean... I don't think... Oh, I don't know. Have I just soft-locked myself? Oh, shit. And you have failed to prove that he committed the murder. I think it's time for this witness to return to his own trial and face his guilty verdict as Master Mask. No. Hey, welcome back, JFC.
Well now, Sir Lawyer, it seems that love wins out in the end after all. I am the ace detective, as well as Master Mask. My verdict will verify that, just as Rhonda Lights will verify that he is the true murderer. I declare that with the full force of my ace detectiveness.
Ugh. Order. Order in the court. That's enough deliberation over this witness.
I can't believe this. At this rate, Ron is... Don't give up now, Nick. We still have tomorrow. We can look for more evidence and...
By then it'll be too late.
Huh? Why?
Double jeopardy. One of the basic rules of any court of law.
Double jeopardy?
Should a defendant be tried and found innocent in court, that defendant cannot be tried again for the same crime. This is a fundamental rule of all courts, and it applies to this witness as much as it applies to anyone else. Mr. Admi will be found guilty in a matter of minutes. Guilty as Mask the Mask, which means he will be innocent as far as the murder of King Bullard is concerned.
No way!
The fact that you were unable to prove Mr. Admi's guilt of that crime here means that he will never again be tried as Cain Bullard's murderer.
Wow! Shoot, what have I done? I shouldn't have saved it.
Now there's nothing I can possibly do to win. Even if Ron is proclaimed to be innocent, the real killer, Luke Atme, will go free.
Shoot.
You have cross-examined every statement the witness has made here today. And as long as there is no more testimony, I'm afraid I will have to declare that there will be no further questioning of this witness. Are there any objections? Then I hereby end the cross-examination of Luke Atme.
Oh, shit.
Oh!
I think I see it. Your Honour, when you were a child, this is what was on your report card every year. Has poor hearing and often makes mistakes as a result.
How did you...
Phoenix, raise your head up high. Have you forgotten what I used to tell you? A lawyer is someone who smiles no matter how bad it gets. In Mia! Get in, come on. That voice. No way. Long time no see, Phoenix. Mia!
This is the true power of the Kerrang channeling technique. I know that it's really Maya who's standing there before me, but right now she's my mentor, Mia Fey.
Now, let's do this.
But there's nothing more we can do, Mia. Without any more testimony, I can't cross-examine.
Not yet. Testimony's not over yet. What do you mean? Your Honour, just now you said something very interesting. You have cross-examined every statement the witness has made here today?
Yes, that's true, but...
Unfortunately, Your Honour, you're forgetting something. Earlier, after the last cross-examination, the witness made a number of remarks.
She's picked up a couple of things.
Well now, Sir Lawyer, it seems that love wins out in the end after all. I am the ace detective, as well as Master Mask. My verdict will verify that, just as Rhonda Lights will verify that he is a true murderer. I declare that with the full force of my ace detectiveness.
Yes, but these comments appear to have no importance whatsoever.
Very well, then we shall prove their importance via cross-examination. At any rate, as long as the witness has made these remarks, we, the defence, assert our right to question them.
Is that airtight with you, prosecutor? Is something the matter, Mr. Godot? Nothing.
Oh, Sir Lawyer. It looks like you're one step too late. If you think such falsehoods will do anything to me, look at...
Let's hear it.
Huh?
It's true that the witness made some remarks. Oh then, let's hear this last bit of cross-examination.
Mr. Godot, what are you...
Very well then, Mr. Look at me. I'm going to allow the defense to cross-examine your earlier remarks.
The defense would like to hear why you declared the defendant to be the true murderer.
So please, give us one last bit of testimony. Now, come on, chop chop.
Phoenix, this is it. This is our absolute last chance.
Yes, Chief. What things would they be, GB? What things would they be? The last testimony.
Indeed, it is true that I was not at Lord Taylor. I had to leave to see about another vitally important job request. I had known about the date beforehand, so I had this photograph readied. My brilliant deduction was what informed me that the true culprit was Rhonda Light. And thanks to the key card and wallet, it was abundantly clear that he was there. I was also able to make a deduction from the buzzer, which only sounded once. The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? The victim would have left prints if he'd sounded it, which means the killer sounded it. Mr. Delight was wearing his Master Mask outfit, which is why he left no prints. And the blackmail letter? The victim likely just mistook the colour of the jewel. Zavari. Therefore, all the evidence points to that poor boy.
That, yeah, seems to hold up pretty well. The witness's earlier remarks do not appear to have been hastily prepared. All of his points have been explained, and none of them seem to contradict anything.
But of course.
But how did you know about the emergency buzzer?
The police investigation documents went directly through me, and I always look over all the documents. It's elementary, Sir Lawyer.
Are you going to make even more trouble for us now, Sir Lawyer? I will not allow any of your usual shenanigans, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honour. We cannot postpone Luke Atmy's trial any longer. This is your last chance, and we better save it. Hang on a second. Just one chance? It seems that the party's about to begin.
Well, Phoenix, there isn't any evidence that contradicts with that testimony. So it would seem...
What do you mean, so it would seem?
Listen, Phoenix, pointing out contradictions doesn't always mean you have to present evidence, does it? At any rate, this is our last chance. If you can't point out a case-breaking contradiction, you lose. That's all there is to it.
Cup number 17. The last cup. Seems like the time has come to put an end to this trial. I have to find a fatal contradiction in his testimony. And I need to point it out without presenting evidence. Which means all I can do is find the contradictory remark and press it. Shit. Remember, you only get one chance. Oh. Right, okay. Very well then, Mr. Wright. Please begin your final cross-examination. This is stressful, man. The last testimony. Right. Oh, God, right. Save it. Indeed, it is true that I was not at Lordly Taylor. I had to leave to see about another vitally important job request. That doesn't tell me anything. I had known about the date beforehand, so I had this photograph readied. That's consistent. My brilliant deduction was what informed me that the true culprit was Rhonda Light. And thanks to the keycard and wallet, it was abundantly clear that he was there. Yes. I was also able to make a deduction from the buzzer, which only sounded once. That's true. The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? The victim would have left prints if he sounded it, which means the killer sounded it. Yeah, makes sense. You're also wearing gloves. Mr. Delight was wearing his Master Mask outfit, which is why he left no prints. Oh, I can't. And the blackmail letter, the victim just likely just mistook the colour of the jewel. Zavari, therefore, all of the evidence points to that poor boy. Oh, this cross-examiner is the only chance I have to nail him. Somewhere there's a huge contradiction, and I've got to find it. As far as I can see, there is no evidence that contradicts his testimony. All you can do is press him, and you only get one shot. Chat, what we thinking? No. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. The only thing I can think of is that I can't present anything. Right. The only thing I can think of, the outfit. Yeah, but the problem. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's the outfit because it's got to be this one. If you think about it, because he's saying that there's no. Is the buzzer a piece of it? No, there's no evidence. That's the thing. There's no evidence. They're making it abundantly clear. I can only press, but I feel like it's this one because he's saying that there's no prints that were left. Well, if that's the case, then yeah, let's go for it. Let's go for it. Oh, hello, hang on. Mr. Atme, about this last remark, because the only thing I can think of is the urn, because there were no fingerprints on the urn as well. It's the only thing I can think of. You still don't get it. Oh, fudge. Hang on a minute. Have we goofed up? This isn't the time to be pressing the witness on every little statement, which I'm not doing. I'm afraid you're the one who still doesn't get it, Mr. Godot. What? Mr. Atme, it seems you have finally admitted that you were in the CEO's office on the night of the murder. Oh! How can you say that? Well, let's review your testimony, shall we, Mr. Atme? He knew he was wearing the... Oh my god, of course! The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? Mr. Delight was wearing his... How would he have known that? How would he have known that if he wasn't the silhouetted man who knocked out Ron? Indeed. That's what I said. My deductions are absolutely foolproof. Because if he was wearing that, then how was he downstairs as well? Because this man was the one who owned a Master Mask outfit. He's claiming to be that guy, so how can Ron... It's falling in place now. Okay. Chat. Well done. That's what I said. My deductions are absolutely foolproof. More like your deductions prove that you're a fool. I'm sorry? Whatever do you mean? For some reason, I'm starting to get really thirsty. No, you're on your 17th cup now, lad. When exactly did we learn the fact that Ron Delight was dressed as Master Mask when he went to the scene of the crime? That was early in the trial when he wasn't there. Hey, your rotten phrenology has come back. Was bound to come back at me. That was, it was just a few hours ago, when my 6th cup was looking at me with a cold stare. Huh? Oh, did I forget to mention it before? I'm sorry. I just never had a chance to mention it up until now. Of course. That's right. The defendant had yet to tell anyone else this fact before this morning. Therefore, the only people who should know this are those who have been watching this trial. Do you understand now, Detective Atney? There is no way you should have known about that. You were in the courtroom being tried as Master the Mask. So then, enlighten us. Just how did you know that piece of information?
Well,
Come on, this detective must have known about it. He probably had plenty of chances to find out beforehand. And it's those chances that I want to discuss next. That night, Mr. Delight was wearing his Master Mask outfit. There is one and only one way for Detective Atney to have found that out. Only one? One way, you say? Please recall, if you will, Mr. Delight's testimony. When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there. For a second, my client witnessed the real killer. But Mr. Delight never saw his attacker, so there's no way to tell whether or not the real killer was Luke Atney. It's with that statement that I'll turn this case on its head. Just what are you implying? Well, Mr. Delight saw the real killer, correct? Now, if you turn that statement around, it stands to reason that the real killer had also seen Ron Delight. Impossible. Oh my god. Detective Atney, you saw Master Mask at the murder scene that night. You saw him when you killed Kane Bullard and assaulted Ron Delight. That was the only way you could have known what Ron was wearing. Oh, hello. Hello.
take a good look, everyone. Unable to find a rival worthy of my genius, I was forced to create one by myself. Here I am, the tragic clown.
That's the same line you gave yesterday. I think there's a little more meaning behind it this time.
The rambunctious rapscallion has been rendered defeated.
God. What an awfully complicated incident. Kane Bullard was blackmailing Luke Atney, who was in turn blackmailing Ron Delight. 'Tis me, yep. And upon killing his blackmailer, Luke Atney tried to frame Ron Delight. He then claimed to be guilty as Master Mask in order to escape his true crime. And to that end, he came up with this plan, to use the double jeopardy rule when making his alibi. At any rate, it would seem we finally found the truth. Excuse me? Came perilously close to besmirching the record of an innocent young man, besmirching him with the title of murderer. Don't ignore me! Oh, I didn't realize you were there. Why wouldn't he be? About the verdict? I know, we never committed any murder. That's right. I'm so glad you understand that, but I really am Master Mask. Huh? So, thanks to that trial yesterday, I'm innocent now, right? Oh! What was it you said? Double jeopardy? Well, now that you mention it, I've been careless. Careless? What do you think, Mia? As the defendant says, the rule of double jeopardy is absolute. The defendant can never be tried twice for a crime in which he was once found innocent. Then, Master Mask is really innocent? It would seem so. For now. For now. For now. Now then, the court finds this defendant not guilty. Can't see me, but I am now doing a dance. Because we celebrate him.
Boy, this is really lucky. Wait, Oh, this isn't so good after all. You see, the thing is, I still am Master Mask after all.
October 14, 3:35 p.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 4. You did it, Phoenix. Thanks, Mia. It's been a long time, hasn't it? Yeah, it's because Maya doesn't call on me much these days. Oh. I'm just joking, Phoenix. Don't take everything so seriously. On the other hand, Maya, she seems kind of torn these days. You mean about becoming the master of the Crane Channeling School? Becoming the master? And saying goodbye to our mother? Oh yeah, Misty Faye, right? Yeah, JX is free to do more robbing. Indeed. Rob away! Rob away! Watch over her, will you, Phoenix? Oh, of course. Well then, see you around. Mia.
Ah, Mr. Wright. I don't know what to say.
Congratulations, Mr. Delight.
Thank you so much. No, wait. Nothing really matters anymore, though. Now that all of this is out in the open.
Come on, just be happy already. Maya, you've been cleared of the murder charges and got off as Master boot.
But in exchange, I lost everything.
Well, huh? What do you mean?
Stealing security information from KB Security, becoming Mask to Mask. I did it all for the Rock. I did it all for one reason. For the Rock.
You mean your wife, Desiree?
She hates criminals more than anything.
But my brother, you ain't a criminal. Come to think of it, she was once held hostage by some robbers, wasn't she?
She always said how she hated sneaky criminals. I knew that, but once I got fired from KB Security and lost all the money I had, she wouldn't have any reason to stay with me. I thought she would leave me for sure.
That's why you became Mask to Mask.
Yes, but it's all over now. A broken bowl can never be put back together.
Ah, what, you say that? That's not true, right, Nick? Right.
Really? Can we go back to the way things were?
You'll be fine, and Nick can prove it. I can? I wish you would check with me first. Mr. Delight, even if a bowl is broken, there is always a way to put it back together. Just look at this sacred urn that's been smashed more times than a backdoor prozzer.
The sacred urn? Nessie was the one who found this.
Desiree, your wife, she always believed in you, Ron. That's why you'll be fine. You don't have to worry about anything.
Ah.
Oh, there you are. Mr. Light. You did it, Ronnie. You're innocent. I'm so happy.
Thank you. I appreciate that, but, I suppose you don't want anything more to do with me, do you?
Ronnie, why didn't you talk to me about what was going on? I had no idea you'd quit KB Security. Wow. I never imagined that you were really Master Mask either. Mr. Light, what are you going to do? What are you going to do now that you know? You're not going to really leave him, are you? Yeah, I've seen that Japanese broken bowl reassembled with Kai. Come on, it's obvious, isn't it? How could I ever let a wonderful man like him get away? After all, my bike's really fast. So fast that there's no way he could ever get away. Didn't you say that you hated criminals? Oh! I only hate people who act all cowardly and sneaky. Like that detective. I see. My Ronnie went and declared his crimes before he committed them. Like a man. Just love a man who's so chivalrous. Chivalrous? I knew I was right about you. Every day I spend with you is filled with thrills and excitement.
Dessie?
Desiree? You really do love Ron, don't you? Nicky boy. Yes? I'm really glad I asked you to defend my Ronnie. Thank you so much. I'll never forget what you've done for us. Oh, well, take care of yourself. You too, Nicky boy. Ooh, I can feel my face going red. Mr. Nick! Mystic Maya! Congratulations! Uh-oh. Talk about bad timing.
Mr. Nick, how could you? With another man's wife, in front of Mr. Meyer. No, you got it all wrong. I'll never forgive you. Never, ever.
She's crazy, man. Please don't tell me she knocked me out. Oh, okay. I'm not sure your Ron is a man at weekends. So just as the case came to a close, so too did my consciousness. Ron said, a broken bowl can never be put back together. But I know that's not true. I mean, just look. Yeah, have a look. Take a good, hard look. Here's a perfect example of one that was put back together even better than before.
He's so kawaii.
Episode 2, The Stolen Turnabout. The end. And now, we have a new episode which has been added, which is episode 3, A Recipe for Turnabout. I will very quickly go through this. I won't save it because we'll recap, but that's enough. This court sees no reason to further prolong the trial. This case is extremely clear. I see no room for misinterpretation of the facts. It wasn't me. I swear it wasn't me. The evidence and testimony we've seen and heard are conclusive. The victim was alone at his table when he drank from that poisoned cup of coffee. No, you're wrong. I know what I saw. I saw... Mia's new outfit's a bit woo-woo. I saw someone else there. A man. He's the real killer. Salt Bay. It's Salt Bay. Oh my god. Why won't anyone believe me?
Well, I'd say that pretty much wraps this case up, wouldn't you, Mr. Wright?
This court finds the defendant guilty. This court is adjourned. Oh my. Oh my. Wow. We'll come back to that on Friday, I believe. Yeah, unless I've got any overtime scheduled or anything like that, then yeah, we'll be back on Friday. Let me just see. Was there anything that was added on here? I don't know if there anything was. Can I go? Yeah. End Q&A. There we go. This will. Oh, hang on. There's questions list. Let's have a quick look at the questions. There were none. Okie dokie. Right. So we'll end that. There we go. Right. Cliffhanger. Yeah. No, we're nearly 2.5 hours in. I'm gonna have to call it a night from here, guys. But yes. So yeah, there you go. I quite like this turnabout. This one. This is a pretty decent one as well. Nico, I'm sure you remember it if you're familiar with the game, which I know you are. This is quite an interesting one. I remember very little of it, but I'll say this to you, GB, specifically. This one is quite flamboyant, shall we say. So yeah, stay tuned. Well, yeah. Tomorrow, I'm over on Proper Horror Show's channel. We're going to be talking about Prince of Darkness. Yeah, you got to go to work now, mate. Sorry. And then, yeah, providing I'm not doing any overtime or anything like that tomorrow, Friday, we'll be back. Might be 9:30, might be 10 o'clock. I will confirm in the Discord. So yeah, and if you want to catch up with the previous episodes, check the playlist on my second channel, which is pinned in the comment in the live chat at the top. But yeah, so thank you. I love this one. I like how it starts different from a murder at first. Yeah, so I'll have to. Yeah, I really don't. Yeah, I love this one. Yeah, I'm just focused on you. Oh, there you go. You can focus on the. Oh no, you've been around for the previous ones. Yeah, I do love the stolen turnabout because it does genuinely it's one of those few ones that doesn't sort of have a murder element to it at the beginning, which I loved when I first played this years and years and years ago. Yeah, this one I think is going to take a bit more of, I'd say, comedic approach. I think there's going to be some reoccurring characters as well, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, stay tuned. Friday night, 9:30, 10 o'clock. I'll get it confirmed and shared out on the Discord. And yeah, so this one will be, and also this will be re-uploaded on the second channel as well. If you missed it on the live, which I say that, but if you've missed it, you're not going to hear me say it now, are you? Right. Anyway, that's me spent. Thank you ever so much for sticking around. I really do appreciate it. And until next time, take care and goodbye for now. Oh, #0 seats.